Hey guys, welcome to my vlog. I'm Anila Dhami and I'm talking about all the things that have been happening in the news this week. I'm going to start with Boris Brexit and whether Britain is in a state of flux. You might be super bored of hearing about Brexit, but let me keep you up to date with what's been happening so far this week. So at the weekend, Boris Johnson published a 4,000-word article outlining his view on Brexit and what he thinks it should look like. And as a result, he faced a barrage of criticism, including from the Home Secretary Amber Rudd, who accused him of backseat driving. And then the Prime Minister Theresa May got involved and said the government is being driven from the front seat. However, he has had some support, and notably from Michael Gove. Yes, Michael Gove is the one who stabbed Boris in the back during the campaign. And if it wasn't for Michael Gove, Boris Johnson would probably be in a bit of a different position right now. He quite possibly would be the Prime Minister if it wasn't for Gove. But he has been backing Boris and the whole article that he outlined with Brexit. Now, I went to a talk yesterday and there were lots of comments made by the panellists on whether Britain is in a state of flux. And of course, we were talking about Brexit and about the vision of Britain's future after leaving the European Union. And some of the comments made was that Britain has always been in a state of flux. And actually, while the media has been focusing on the fact that Theresa May's party seems to be really kind of at loggerheads right now between themselves, Theresa May did win a majority vote, higher than any other Prime Minister, Tory Prime Minister, in the last 40 years. But of course, that was all overshadowed by the fact that Labour had a major resurgence with Jeremy Corbyn and the Corbynites and the whole Corbyn fever. And on the note of that, one of the panellists said that, young people buy into Corbyn because they think that money grows on trees, and that Corbyn doesn't have a proper financial strategy. And while that may be a valid point, young people do not think that money grows on trees. And actually, the resurgence of Labour is a great thing because it means that we have a two-party political system back. There was a long time where the Tories were kind of running in the wind with their policies and taking our country in whichever way they wanted to, which is of course fine because that's who we voted for. But obviously, also in a democracy, we need to hold the government accountable. So it's great that we've got two-party political system back. But I think that we really need to think about British values. We need to think about where is the future of Britain when it comes to what we stand for as Brits. We talk lots about Britain and the vision of Britain being, part of the single market, not being part of the single market, freedom of movement. But what about what we stand for? Surely the fact that people are voting so differently in every single election, or the fact that the SNP votes have gone to Labour, the fact that UKIP are dying out, the fact that people who voted for UKIP in the first place, the fact that people voted for Brexit, all these trends in the way people are voting has always shown that Brits feel like they're losing an identity and are trying to cling on to one and trying to find one. And actually, one of the points made by one of the panellists was that social media is, really bad for politics, but that's because people buy into personalities rather than policies. But actually, social media, I believe, enhances democracy because it makes politics accessible to anyone and everyone. And also, the reason people buy into personalities is to identify themselves, is because they can see an identity and they think, actually, that person has got what I want or what I want for this country. So I think we really need to be looking forward at British values. What do we stand for? And are we going to re-establish British values? Or are we going to recreate them after leaving the European Union so that we really know what we stand for, what we represent in the global picture? And I think that actually it's really exciting that we have a real hand in shaping that and deciding what that could be. It'd be really interesting to know what you think our British values should be. And the last thing I quickly want to touch upon is Wayne Rooney being found guilty of drink driving when he was driving home a woman in her VW while his pregnant wife and 3 sons were on holiday. And I just want to touch upon the fact that the media has really, drummed up this whole let's feel pity for Colleen Rooney. Of course, it's difficult to understand her choice of wanting to stay with him, apart from the fact that she is carrying their 4th child she just announced. But if you look at the discrepancy between how women are portrayed in comparison to men when it comes to breakups. For example, Louise Redknapp's been described as having a midlife crisis just because she's getting on with her life after leaving Jamie Redknapp. And he has been portrayed as just getting on with his life. So, you know, as much as I really believe in choice for women and that Colleen Rooney, if she does not want to leave Wayne, absolutely fine, that's her choice. But the way she's been described as being humiliated, we completely feel pity for her. Rather than thinking, do you know what, Wayne has done something completely wrong. And of course, his sentence and the fact that he's been banned from driving for 2 years and has received a court fine is a real justice, and shows that, you know, you can't get away with doing these things. But where is the justice for his cheating? That's what hasn't been portrayed, that's what hasn't been questioned, and that's what I'm questioning. I hope you've enjoyed my blog, and I hope to see you soon.